Hi, guys. Welcome back to this week's episode of What's Your Story? I've missed y'all so much, but we are back. And this week we have an artist here in Atlanta. He is a singer, songwriter, artist, rapper, actor. Did I miss anything?
No. I think you got it.
The whole nine. And we're going to go ahead and give it up for XL the Scholar.
Yes. How y'all doing?
Thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it. So my questioning style is going to be a little different for you because my normal style of finding people is I kind of like creep on them on Instagram for a little bit, or social media, and then I listen to their music and see whether I like them or not, and then I kind of reach out. Where with you, our meeting was totally different. Like I actually got to meet you in a restaurant listening to your music, so that was really cool for me. So I want to go ahead and we're just going to start from the top. And what is your story, just from the beginning?
Yeah, it's a super vague question, but I like it. It's forcing me to think a little bit.
Yeah.
So I guess my story is that I've always been in and around music. I really get most of my inspiration from my sister. She is and was a phenomenal singer forever. And so I would always try to emulate her, like regardless of what I was doing with sports and stuff like that, I would always try to make sure that music was central as well.
Yeah.
And so I grew up in a bunch of different choirs and rapping and doing all that other stuff. And you know how it is up north
Right.
with the battle rap and all of that stuff as well. But I always felt that was like truly a part of me. But then football became a much more serious thing for me.
Okay.
And so when I got to college, it was just kind of something, music was something that I did, you know, in the locker room with the fellas or before we go out or something like that. But it wasn't really something that was at the forefront as it was previously.
Okay.
And so long story short, I go to University of Massachusetts first. I make my way down to Georgia State to continue playing football. And then I meet some really, really good, really talented dudes. But again, my focus was solely on football.
Yeah.
So then I go to the NFL for a brief period of time, and then I come back to finish my degree. And lo and behold, my friends that I was doing music with at Georgia State are absolutely blowing up. The same ones we used to just rap in the dorm rooms and stuff like that are now having super fantastic careers and making multi-platinum albums and all of that stuff. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. And so they kind of wrote me back in like, yo, Dio, you need to, you know, get back in your music bag, dog. Like, need you. And so they bring me into the studio one day, and I'll never forget this. And I wrote this song called Fall Through. And so we went, shout outs to Ralph Cassiuri. He's a, you know, Grammy winning engineer. So we go into his studio one day to record Fall Through, and in walks Big Crit. And I'm like, yo, this is exactly where I need to be, because people thought that me making my first song for real, my first big song, Big Crit will walk in. So it was kind of like greatness giving me his blessing, even though I'm not sure if he remembers that story. I got to remind him next time I see him. Right. But then Fall Through kind of took off, and then I began to realize like, yo, you got to take this thing seriously, and the rest has been history.
Yeah. Okay. Because I was about to say, like, what was that transitioning moment for you of like, were you, or I guess my question would be like, were you ever torn like football music, or was it always just like, music?
I don't know if I was necessarily torn. One of my biggest inspirations is Paul Robeson. And the reason that I like him is because he was an actor, athlete, activist. Like he was in movies, he was flying all over the world. He was a I want to say football and baseball player. Like he was absolutely cold. He did it all. And I always felt like, why can't I do the same? Right. So when I was in high school, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go to football practice. And then I'm gonna go to choir practice right after. I'm gonna get to the school at 7. I'm gonna leave the school at 9 p.m. and that's just gonna be my life. But I never really thought I had to choose one or the other. But at the same time, once you go to college, it becomes a job, and it's literally paying the bills when you have your scholarship and all of that stuff. So music kind of took a back burner. I mean, it was always there, but I really had to focus on football.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Yeah. And so I guess music is your passion because you found your way back to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is always great, because I always tell people, it's the passion is like what's within you. So even if your mind is drifting this way and that way, you're going to always come back to what you're destined to do, which is always awesome.
It's been a blessing. Like a lot of people kind of don't make that loop back around, or don't have the opportunity, or don't end up in a place that kind of cultivates what it is that they want to do. But luckily, by the grace of God, I ended up in Atlanta, which was good for football, but also fantastic for music as well. So it's just been a blessing.
So how long have you been dove straightly into music?
Wow, that's a good question. To be like completely focused on it, I would say a couple years now. I think Fall Through came out in 2017 going into 2018. I don't really count 2019 because we was all, in the whole panoramic at the time.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
2019, 2020, or 2020, 2021, whatever year it was. But
Yeah.
so I guess I would say about 3 years going strong and going steady.
Oh, okay. So you're, I guess, a newbie to the game, sort of.
I, I think I'm a newbie to the industry of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like an athlete. Even though you've been playing basketball or football, whatever, your whole life,
Yeah.
once you played at the professional level, or once you played at the college level,
Yeah.
like you understand the business of it and you understand it in its totality. So I
Right.
think that now I'm beginning to understand music in its totality, and how it's not about who's good at X. It's about how you kind of become an entire artist, how all of these different things kind of inform you as an artist, your relationship with your fans, like all of these things are truly, truly paramount as it comes to music. So it's not just having fun and saying and rapping anymore, but I still love this aspect of it as well.
Right. Yeah. And because there is the business side of it, but you also love it. So it's fun while you get to make your money in the process
Mhm.
and still being within the industry. So that makes total sense. Okay. So how long have you been in Atlanta? 3 years?
No, 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 no.
Oh,
I'm going on, let's say, what is it? 8? No, 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 going on 9 years maybe. I've been here since 2012.
oh wow.
I transferred from the University of Massachusetts to play football at Georgia State.
Okay.
And then shortly after that, I played for the Falcons for a brief period of time, as I said. And then I just stuck around, man. I loved it. Atlanta was and is, everything I
Yeah.
love is just pure, unbridled blackness, black talent, black wealth, black exceptionality,
Yeah.
black mediocrity, black everything. You know what I'm saying? So I love Atlanta. It speaks to me. It speaks to my soul, and I had to stay.
Yeah. Atlanta is that place that like once you come, it's hard to go unless like I mean, no offense, but people literally are homeless out here because they love this city so much or they want to make it so bad. Like, so it is that place where you come and you're just like, it's like such.
I'll say that like coming from up north, I think one of the biggest differences is exposure.
Mm,
Oftentimes up north you have this dichotomy: either things are rich and white or things are poor and black, and you have your some exception cities, but that's how it is for a lot of places that you go. So
yeah,
me particularly coming from Connecticut, it's like the black parts of the state are the ones that are more impoverished, the ones with less resources, and the more successful ones are the white ones. And so
yeah,
I went to a private high school, and I saw that disparity, and I saw what that looks like, and I saw how it's internalized as well. So imagine what that can do to a young student coming up, and all the successful people you see growing up don't look like you.
yeah,
And then you come to a place like Atlanta, and it's like, no, everybody looks like you. So you can
exactly.
see the doctor that's black. You can see the black woman that's the mayor. You can see, and you see all of these different things, and it kind of opens up so many different possibilities. So I think that if I can bring something like that back up north,
Yeah,
I would love to absolutely do that, because it gets you down deep when you can
yeah,
see yourself in greatness. You know what I mean?
yeah, agree. No, and that is a wonderful way to look at Atlanta.
It's very much so a sense of belonging. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Even the thing about exceptionality up north, it's you're often the black person in the room when you're exceptional in those
yeah,
kind of spaces.
yeah,
So I think back to high school and being in like AP classes, and it's like you
right,
sure you're in the right place? Like, yeah, you know
yeah,
what I mean?
right,
It's almost that feeling like, am I supposed to be here? Should
exactly,
I be exceptional? Who am I to be great? Um,
exactly.
and what that can do to kind of just the mind and
Yeah,
of both sides, you know what I'm saying? And for white folks as well, what does that do to you when
yeah,
the only exceptional people you see around you are white folks? You know what I'm saying? What do you then begin to formulate about the black folks that are around you as well? So
exactly.
Atlanta is just a truly, truly unique place, and I love it.
Yeah. And I relate to that too, because I went to West Virginia University. So
Okay.
for me, like growing up, it wasn't white, black, it was just people. And then I got to
Yeah.
West Virginia and they're like, oh, yeah, it's only going to be like five of you in the class. And I'm like, five of you? What that mean? Like
Yeah.
five
Yeah.
women, five, like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, shoot, this is a thing,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I got my first job and I was the first Black female reporter since like 1995. And everybody was like, it was an accomplishment. And I'm just like, is this good or bad? I'm confused. Like,
Right.
why are
Right.
y'all so excited that you have your first Black female reporter? And I'm like, okay, but I'm still just Aaliyah. Relax, like, you know. So
Yeah.
I totally resonate with that. So okay, back to my question. I was
I
reining
got you off
it
task. I'm
in.
sorry. I'm
You know,
sorry.
I know, and I got drawn in like, yeah. So, Atlanta, my question to you is, how have you been able to kind of navigate your way into the Atlanta music industry or just entertainment scene altogether being out here?
I think the thing about Atlanta is that it's easy to get caught up. It's easy to get
Yeah.
caught up in the wave and to get caught up in the lights of it all. But I think that you have to kind of remain focused and really have your end goal in mind.
Yeah.
In terms of navigating through the Atlanta music scene, this is Atlanta. Everybody and their mama is a musician.
Yeah.
Or it's like if you go to LA, everybody and their mama is an actor. So who
Yeah.
to get behind or who to connect with is a tough process. But
Yeah.
I think that kind of staying true to me and staying true to who I am and just making my most authentic music has attracted people who kind of see that authenticity. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When you're in a place that's so oversaturated with musicians, you will often see people emulating whatever they think is popular, as opposed to telling their own story, as opposed to being their own 100% authentic selves. And that'll come and go. But
Right.
Whoever's being authentic, whoever's being real, whoever is truly taking the opportunity to tell their story, I feel like you find other like minds. And so I've been fortunate enough to find other like minds, and also just see people come up. See people that start hungry and start with something creative and just go. Desi Banks is one of my former teammates from Georgia State,
Yeah.
and now he's up for an NAACP Image Award for being
Right.
a social media comedian. Like, he's always been funny, but he knew his goal and he knew what he had to do. So, and he stayed focused in doing it. So I think that that was kind of my trajectory as well, just kind of staying focused and keeping my nose down, not getting infatuated by the lights over here and not, trying to be this person. Now I'm gonna go be a trap rapper. Like, nah, that was never me. So it shouldn't be me now that I'm down here. So I think just kind of staying close to who you are, you attract other people that are similar, and then talent attracts talent as well.
Yeah.
If I am out one day and I hear something that some singer did, and I'm like, yo, I need to know who that person is. That's the type of music I want to make.
Right.
So that if you're in whatever spot you're in Atlanta and you hear some XL to Scholar, I need people to be like, yo, who is this guy? Because that's what I need to be around. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that to an extent, that's what I'm doing. I feel like that's why we're here,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe to kind of dig a little deeper, my next question would be, what strides do you think you're taking to kind of keep yourself in that differential lane, but also to progress yourself further?
When you're an artist that's moving authentically, you have to listen to yourself. You
Yeah.
have to listen to your heart, and you have to listen to your mind. Just because I had some success with certain songs a couple years ago,
Mhm.
I'm in a different mental, physical, emotional place now. So
Yeah.
I have to tell my authentic story moving forward. So I think that in terms of strides, you strike out when you try to strike gold twice. So if I were to tell a story from where I was emotionally 2 years ago, it's not going to hit the same because I'm not feeling that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It may sonically sound the same, but it won't feel the same.
Right.
So I think that my strides, because that's happened to me, and I feel like that's happened to a lot of artists. You're gonna try to, I'm gonna try to do it twice. But you have to begin to listen to yourself, and that's where the greatness comes out, when you're authentic to and with yourself. So I think that that's the stride that I'm making at this point in time, is just like, yo, listen to yourself, listen to your emotions. Why is XL in 2021 different than XL in 2020 or different than XL in 2019? And so just truly being a student of the craft, and also there's so many talented people out here. There's so many people that are coming up. There's so many Masego, Lucky Day, like Janelle Monáe. There's so many brilliant singers, brilliant artists that I'm privileged enough to see and privileged enough to kind of be in rooms and work with and things like that. Like, being a student of those people, like, truly helps me to be humble and helps me to motivate myself to keep moving up as well. It's easy to get distracted. And I think that, like, the Atlanta will always be Atlanta. So if you're not focused, you can get caught up in the wave. You know what I'm saying? You can get caught up in just going to spots to go to spots, as opposed to going to spots where you should probably be going there networking, or you should probably be going there meeting whoever is the showrunner for this next big Black show that's filming down here, or you should go probably be meeting these people who are adjacent to your sound, as opposed to try to get bumping elbows in the section next to the biggest rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all about kind of intentionality. And as long as you're intentional with your goals, as long as you're intentional with your craft, then I feel like you have nowhere to go but up.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the music itself. Are you signed to a label out here?
I am currently independent, but I am with a Great Quality Music Group, Great Quality Entertainment. So that is myself. Shouts to MacNell, shouts to Spence, shouts to OG Parker, Snoop. There's so many of us that are kind of together as this artistic collective. But they're also off doing their own things as well. But in terms of like, this is kind of iron sharpens iron mentality. So if I can go watch Parker, who we, used to freestyle with at Georgia State dorm rooms, to be now on every track with every platinum artist ever. And we can kind of sit down and we can watch that and we can say, okay, how does iron sharpen iron? How can I get to where you at? Or how can you help me? How can I help you? Like, all of those things. So I think that being a part of a good team is imperative. You're only as strong as your weakest link, and nobody can do this thing alone. So I'm super duper excited to be with my team, to be with Great Quality. But in terms of a major record label, I am currently independent.
Okay. Because I thought that I heard them say that at the restaurant place, but I wasn't sure if I caught it. And I was like, and I definitely don't remember what label he said if he did. So, but, okay, cool. That makes sense. And I guess that would kind of go into strides, because I was going to also say, like, how has your team, as you put it, kind of helped transform you in your journey? But I guess it's just continued evolution, or you can answer.
No, it is continued evolution, but at the same time, nobody's going to allow you to be stagnant on my team. I think that when we're talking about Great Quality, like, everybody's going to pull each other up. They're not going to allow you to do the same things that you used to do, and they're going to let you know if you're slacking, and also let you know if you are tapping into something fantastic that's going to be beautiful later down the line. We have meetings all the time where we dish ideas and dish beats to one another, and we kind of come together, we collaborate, we do a bunch of different things, and kind of just keep each other motivated. Shouts to Dre Got Juice. He's on this project. He has, I think, probably the biggest hit on this project, which is If It Feels Right. Shouts to him. He had a hit song with Drake, Loyal, and then and then Parker. Me and him got together on Like That, which is another big song that I have. But I need those people there to be honest with me and to say, yo, like, I rock with it, or yo, I don't, or yo, I think you can do more. Like, it's just the honesty that I feel like our team has, that truly makes us unique, and also just the authenticity and just being real with one another. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all pull each other up, we all watch each other's success, and not one person is just going to eat. Like, everybody's going to eat in due time.
Yeah, and that's the type of people you want to be surrounded with, is where it's like the table's always full, and each person gonna eat no matter what. So that's always good. Okay, so I wanted to, were there any projects that you wanted to talk about in particular? Or we could talk about the one we heard at the restaurant.
Yeah. Absolutely. I know that y'all heard a snippet of Ascension. Ascension really means a lot to me. Like, I've done a number of projects in the past, and they've seen a lot of success. And I think that I have a strong fan base that kind of knows what I'm about, and knows that my emphasis is on Black love and Black women and all of that. But there's also a degree of vulnerability that comes with my music. And so I've talked about that in each one of my projects. I've talked about, I guess you can call it sadness. I've talked about hurt and heartbreak. I've talked about toxic behavior and things like that. But I think that in Ascension, I'm kind of tapping into a different myriad of feelings. And so I think that that's what's so exciting about Ascension to me. Like, this is a completely different type of tape than I've done before. It's longer, it's a little bit more involved, and it tells a completely different story, but it does tell a story as well. So it's not just a compilation of songs. It's actually like it was intentionally put together. It was intentionally molded to take you from the beginning of the tape with the waist beads to Rent Free at the end, and just kind of bring you through what it's like to be in an exciting, enthralling type of relationship that really lights your fire, but it's fleeting and it's somewhat temporary. And by the end, you're happy that it happened, but you know that it's over. So yeah, I think that I'm just so excited about Ascension is doing numbers. You can hear it just about going anywhere in Atlanta right now. So I'm excited.
Yeah. Now, Ascension is the track we heard, or is this an album that you have?
Ascension is the name of the whole project.
Oh, okay.
The track that I believe you heard was Goddess.
Yeah. Okay. I was about to say something like Queen or something, but yeah.
Yeah. Goddess is definitely one of my favorites. And again, it's an ode to Black women. It's an ode to appreciating your significant other, not just loving or lusting over this woman, but understanding and really lifting her up, being what puts her up and letting her know, like, baby, you're a goddess. You don't even have to address all of these mere mortals, and just kind of letting Black women know who they are in your eyes. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like with Goddess, it really brings that home, and it really talks about just the value of having a beautiful, Black, intelligent, strong woman in your life, and how her benevolence as a goddess can help you in your life as well. So I think that I kind of articulated that point. And again, this is something different. I know that I've kind of touched on this topic before, but this one I'm really leaning into it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, and that makes sense because everybody wants to hear that. You thought we could jam like,
Absolutely.
I'm a goddess. Wait a second.
Yeah, that means I did what I was supposed to do. That's all.
Because everybody was bobbling. Wait a second. Okay.
Yo, and what's crazy? That was the first time I had heard that song in particular in an environment like that.
Yeah.
Because I usually hear If It Feels Right, I usually hear some of my older work and stuff like that. But when he dropped that, I was like, okay, let's see how this goes. Yeah. And then I just saw the wave of hold up.
Right.
Kind of hit the people. I was like, okay, yeah, this is for real.
Okay, let's dive into that moment a little bit, because now I'm confused, because it was kind of like, we were like, what did he say? Who did he say it was? And then we turned and you was like the only one singing the words. And I'm like, oh, you gotta be his song because he knows all the words. And so kind of talk to me, because you were sitting in I think a very prominent spot where you could really read the room. When he announced that he was gonna play and then he started playing it, kind of walk me through that moment for you.
So at this point in time, I've been blessed enough to hear my music played in a lot of different spots. And shout outs to the people at Nouveau Bar. Shout outs to Mimosa Jam Sundays. They kill it every single Sunday, yo. You got to go there if you haven't already. Not you, I'm talking to the fans. Yeah. But I didn't think that Goddess was one of those ones to play at a lounge or something like that. I thought that people would kind of find Goddess in their own time, kind of in their own spaces. Maybe somebody would be getting ready to go out and listen to Goddess or something like that. Yeah. I knew it was a banger, but I didn't think that in a spot like that. Right. And so when I knew he was gonna play my music, but when he dropped it, I watched it hit people. It's like a wave, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I watched people first be like, okay, I don't know what this is. And then I watched the song start to take hold, and then I watched the hook hit him hard, and I was like, yo, that's how I recorded it, because that's how I wanted it to hit. Yeah. And so I watched that kind of wash over the people, and then everybody starts to look towards the DJ yo, who is this? What's going on? Right. And then I saw people start to go up to him, and I'm like, oh, okay, I guess Goddess is one of those. And that's a beautiful thing as an artist, just to kind of have a song kind of not surpass, but because I knew it was hot, but to be applicable in different spaces. I didn't expect it to go down like that, but it really didn't. So it really opened my eyes, and it was really just a blessing to be able to see it and see people's reaction to it. And like you were saying, everybody wants to feel that way. Everybody wants to be spoken to that way. So imagine you have an artist that is truly speaking on the glory of Black women and making you feel it, so much so that it has taken the room. You know what I mean? Right. So yeah.
And that's got to be a great moment for you to just see your vision kind of come to light and everything in fruition full circle, like, dang, I recorded this, it came out, and that people responded. Because it's rare that you get to see like a first reaction response to a song unless it's played like right in front of you, because most people find it on whatever streaming platform, or they'll play it in the club, or they'll play it on the radio, and it's like you might not be with that person at that time. So for you to like see it and like, yeah, okay, y'all like it, okay. So that's really cool. Dang, that was awesome to be a part of.
Yeah. No, it was magnificent, and I think that I keep roping back to this idea of authenticity. But
Yeah,
one of the big things as well, when making authentic music, it's very very easy to say, yo, I need a pop hit, I
right,
need a song that sounds like City Girls, that sounds like Megan, or sounds like whoever. But if that ain't you, and
right.
you trying to do that, it's not going to hit the same. You know what I'm saying? And I think that one of the blessings that I've been able to stay authentically me and still be able to see success, especially in different environments like clubs or lounges or things like that. So
Yeah,
that it meant that much more that a song is deep and as true to my heart as Goddess truly like makes people move. Like
yeah,
that's kind of like a validation that I
yeah,
don't need to sway out my lane. I can still do this Excel to Scholar thing, and it's going to
exactly.
reach the people I needed to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me, I did have one question before we moved to the end. I
Yep.
wanted to talk a little bit about your name, XL the Scholar, and kind of how that came about, what it means. Like, let's dig in.
um, well, for me in particular, I mean, so I came up north, and I came up as a battle guy. You know what I mean? And XL the Scholar was not my name at the time. It was like B Stacks or Black Stacks or something like that, and it was just a
Okay.
completely different persona. But then I had to find something that represented the entirety of me, not
Okay.
necessarily the facade of me.
Okay.
Because if you see me back in what was that? Oh, 08 or '07 or whatever, and this big black dude, yo, B Stacks, yeah, that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? But
Great.
that's not who the entirety of me is. If
Yeah.
you understand that me as a scholar, as an intellectual, as a singer, as somebody who loves rap, as somebody that's a student of all of these things, I need a name that exudes that.
Yeah.
So I was talking with one of my friends I used to make music with back in the days, and we came up with Excel the Scholar. But what I really think it embodies is the balance of who I am. You know what I mean? So it's Excel. Like, yes, I am that big person, but
Yeah.
it's the scholar as well. I'm truly a student of this game, and I'm humble in those aspects of, yo, I just want to learn. I want to soak up this music. I want this music to be an experience. You know what I'm saying? And so I
Yeah.
think that Excel the Scholar kind of embodies who it is that I am. It's kind of like a big presence, but it's a very, very like authentic, intentional thing when you hear my music. So I think it's fitting, because people of course see Excel first, and they'd be like, okay, you a singer? I don't know. And then
Right.
they don't particularly believe me at first.
Right.
and
Right.
then they hear the music, and they're like, yo, it makes sense now.
Yeah.
So it's become my persona. It's something that I wear, like a badge of honor, and I love being XL. Is truly who I am.
Yeah, because it is. I guess that kind of what is differentiates you from most people in the industry is that what we're expecting you to say, you don't. Right? It's like XL the Scholar. Who is that? Oh, that's me. That's you. Like, just think, wait, what? Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
no. you
I
know.
think that's the fun of it, yo. It's the subversion of expectation. I think that
Yeah.
when people see me, or when I tell people, yo, I do music, or when I speak, you know what I'm saying? You hear this, all
Yeah.
right, who's this dude in the Timbs with the up north accent? This big
Right.
old okay, you do
Right.
music, huh? You a
Right.
rapper? Okay.
Right.
But then when they
Right.
when they when they hear the music, it is truly an experience. And I think that the duality kind of works in my favor, because every time it's gonna surprise you.
Yeah.
Every time, like, people that don't know me, like, you
Yeah.
think you may know what I'm about to sound like, and then I hit you with a
Yeah.
song like God Showed Out or Goddess or If It Feels Right, and then it completely blows your mind. So
Yeah.
I think it works in my favor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and I know that you are very versatile with everything. But would you kind of, if you could wrap your style of artistry in a little box, what would you kind of like put it as?
Wrap it into a little box.
Like, I'm an
Um,
artist that does. this.
I like the sentence starter as well. Thank you very much. I say that I say that I'm a versatile artist. I mean, I think that it's hard for me to put into a box because I've been trying not to be in a box for so long.
Yeah.
So I think that I'm an artist that does soul,
Okay.
R&B, and rap, but not necessarily trap rap, but not necessarily out of the realm. Like I don't know. I'm just an artist. I'm an artist. I don't know.
That'll fit in the box. That'll fit.
Yeah, I think just artists, and then people have to like listen to me and be like, oh, you know what I'm saying, and kind of get it.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to say that I'm all the way over here and then make a song that's all the way over there. You know what I'm saying? It all just kind of comes together. I feel like that's complexity, that's duality, and that's who I really strive to be. Like I don't want to be, oh, XL is like this guy. Like you can't. I don't know if anybody can say XL is like blank. You know. You gotta listen to me. And on this song, I may be like that person, or on another song, I may be like somebody else. But in actuality, I'm just being XL, which is kind of everything, you know?
Yeah. And I was gonna say, when you put a title on certain things, then people have like expectations of that title, and then it's like, he said he was this, and that ain't that, you know?
Right.
He was that, and that ain't that, you know? What people have in their perception of what that means to them, whatever it might be.
I think one of the benefits of being in this day and age is you have so many like super versatile artists.
Yeah.
You have artists like Bryson Tiller and like Drake. Like, what do you call Drake? A rapper, a singer? Like, what do you, you know what I'm saying? This guy's doing everything. He's crossing genres. He's doing pop. He's doing R&B. He's doing all of these things. And I feel like XL the Scholar has the power to do the exact same thing. Exactly. And so if I get into a Afrobeat song like No Mercy, or get into just a pure rap song like Rent Free, or get into like a true like R&B ballad like Lie to Me. Like I have all of those things under my umbrella. So I just feel like, yo, again, we wrote back into the beginning that Paul Robeson aspect. Like why not do it all? Who's gonna tell me I'm not? You know?
Exactly. Yeah. Why not check every box that you can possibly meet? I
can do it all. It's like going in for a job interview. Like I'm gonna just check all the boxes. Bilingual, 5 years of experience, all of that.
And if you don't have a box for me to check, I'm gonna make a box for you.
I'm gonna make a box. I'm gonna draw one at the bottom and be like
other line.
all of that. All of it.
All of the above.
Right.
Okay, what can we look forward to from you in the future?
Yeah. Oh, that's a great question. So what we can look forward to XL, we can look forward to some dope, super dope visuals that are coming out. I have an amazing videographer. Shout outs to Major Productions. We have videos coming out for If It Feels Right, for Goddess, and then we have a lot of behind the scenes content as well. You can look forward also to me being an actor on Pretty for a Big Girl, which is a fantastic show, kind of in the same vein of like an Insecure, but talking about the tropes that big girls are often portrayed as in movies and television, and kind of turning those on their heads. So shouts to Courtney Arlette, who's the creator of that show. You can look forward to me in the show and doing the music for the show. You can look forward to me being in a couple other major shows. I can't really speak on it now contractually, but if you turn on your TV, you may be hearing some XL in the near future.
Okay, I'll be like, wait a second. I know who that is.
For that song, I know that song.
Yeah. I know that. Yeah. Okay. So how can people follow you and your music, become a fan if they aren't already one?
Oh, they will. Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal. Just look up XL the Scholar. I will be there. Scholar Vision. No. Scholar Music. No, wait. Okay. Scholar Vision is my Instagram. And then XL the Scholar on Twitter. Just Google XL the Scholar and I'll be there. If you like R&B, you like me.
Okay. Is there anything that I missed that you want to cover that I didn't go over? Or?
First and foremost. Lastly, I'd just like to thank you for allowing me this opportunity. You thought I wasn't gonna make it, but I made it. I actually had a meeting just before this, but I had to cut them short. Like, yo, I gotta be somewhere at 7:00. So yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate your fandom. I appreciate you allowing me to be on your platform. So yeah.
Yes. And I appreciate you for showing up. But I appreciate you for doing this. I do. Thank you so very much. It's been a pleasure.
No problem, not a problem.
All right. All right, guys. I think that's all we have for this week's episode of What's Your Story? And stay tuned for more to come. And thank you so much to XL the Scholar.